NTA International News.
Acting President unveils a four-goal strategic plan to reposition the country's civil service. Nigerian government to use new partnership for Africa's development to empower youth and women for national growth. INEC, National Population Commission and the National Assembly urged to adhere to constitutional provisions to ensure representation of Nigerians. Hello there and a warm welcome to NTA International News at this time. My name is Justin Bemunye. It's glad to have you join us. Acting President Professor Yemi Osinbajo has unveiled a four-goal strategic plan to reposition the civil service. Adebola Brooksland Sunday reports that the unveiling was at the inaugural quarterly civil service lecture series held at the State House, Abuja.
Culture change program, enterprise management system, commercial orientation, and improved welfare packages are the four goals expected to bring about the needed change in the civil service.
Unveiling the strategic plan 2017 to 2019.
Unveiling the plan, Acting President Yemi Osinbajo believes that the population of civil servants can effect the needed change in Nigeria.
Public service is really the backbone of society itself, not just the backbone of government, but the backbone of society itself. Because when you look at it, the public service presents an incredible opportunity. It is a privilege representing through service one's country and one's people. It's the incredible chance to be a part of the fabric of development of policies, of concepts and ideas that transform the lives of millions and generations.
Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Winifred Oyo-Ita, reaffirmed that the civil service is structurally independent and therefore a tool for the implementation of government policies.
Countries with more efficient and effective public service tend to achieve higher levels of economic growth, and this helps the country to attract more investment, offer higher quality public services, encourage higher levels of human capital accumulation, put foreign aid resources to better use, accelerate technological innovation, and increase the productivity of government spending.
The lecture was attended by past heads of service, retired and serving permanent secretaries, civil servants from ministries, departments and agencies. Change is now. Nigerians are changing, and the present administration wants civil servants to change with time and take advantage of the new opportunities in their workplaces that will translate to national development. From the State House, Adebola Brooksland Sunday, NTA News.
Acting President Yemi Osinbajo has urged participants of the Senior Executive Course 39 of the National Institute of Policy and Strategic Studies, KURU, to demonstrate total commitment and steadfastness in tackling critical issues of national development. It was in a message at the inauguration. Bilkisu Nuhu reports.
President Yemi Osinbajo, who was represented, declared the course open and enjoined the participants to consider their selection as exceptional, bearing in mind the expectation placed upon them, which will yield answers to some of the pressing challenges in science, technology, and innovation.
This administration is committed to revamping the agricultural sector through the application of science, technology, and innovation to the development of agriculture and agro-allied industries.
We need for them to avail themselves of the lectures, the study tours, so as we can confront the challenge given to us by Mr. President in an effective manner.
The course, which will last for 10 months, has 66 participants drawn from different walks of life and has as its theme science, technology, and innovation for the development of agriculture and agro-allied industries. Bilkisu Nuhu, NTA News.
Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Tuku Buratai has restated the commitment of the Nigerian Army to rid the Niger Delta area, particularly Bayelsa State, of all forms of criminality, especially sea piracy, crude oil theft, bunkering and pipeline vandalism. The Chief of Army Staff, who stated this at the inauguration of 16th Army Brigade in Bayelsa State, urged key players to work with the new brigade for the socio-economic development of the area and the safety of the waterways. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has suggested greater synergy between the public and private sectors of the economy towards national development. He said this at a seminar at the ongoing Kaduna International Trade Fair. Ndeyang Adeyaba Gang reports.
Former President Olusegun Obasanjo noted that the nation has not paid sufficient attention to working together by the public and private sectors towards getting the needed synergy to drive the nation's economic development.
Just as you cannot walk fast and walk well with one leg, you cannot move fast in your development if the emphasis is only on private sector or only on the public sector.
Governor Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai said for Kaduna and by extension the country to be great, there is the need for inclusiveness of all, irrespective of background.
All the great cities, all the great countries of the world became great by accepting diversity, by practicing inclusion, and providing a level playing field for everyone to grow to his maximum potentials.
Former Minister of Finance, Dr. Shamsuddin Usman, on his part, called for the passage of the National Planning and Projects Continuity Bill and the National Assembly to adopt economic recovery and growth plans, amongst others, for a sustainable economy.
There are also currently about 10 economic bills. Two in particular are going to be, if they are passed, the National Integrated Infrastructure Development Commission Bill and the National Transport Commission Bill.
Earlier, the president of Katsima, Muhiba Farida Dankaka, while commending the federal government on its diversification policy, called for the review of the Procurement Act and strengthening of public-private sector partnership in the country. In Kaduna, I am Ndenyan Adeyaba Gang, NTA News.
The federal government says it will use the new Partnership for Africa's Development to empower the youths and women in stepping up their skills for national growth. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Babachir David Lau, stated this in a message at the opening of a two-day summit on skills acquisition for Africa, holding in Abuja. Dele Atumbi reports.
The new Partnership for Africa's Development, NEPAD, initiated by 5 African presidents, is a holistic, comprehensive and integrated framework for the socio-economic development of Africa with the aim of continental cooperation for its rapid development. Nigeria, being a member of the initiative, has scaled into the program through its poverty reduction, sustainable growth and development, with the hope of halting the marginalization of the people through cheap labor outside the continent. It is in the light of this that NEPAD Nigeria, with the collaboration of NEPAD Continental, is coming up with the skills acquisition program for youth and women in order to empower them and arrest migration and exploitation. Permanent Secretary Cabinet in the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Roy Ugo, said the federal government will continue to promote skills acquisition among the youths to grow the economy.
This government will always continue to support the initiative to ensure that all Nigerians are positively affected by its action.
The National Coordinator NEPAD Nigeria and the Program Director NEPAD Continental said the summit is meant to help to scale up the economy of the continent and reduce poverty among the people.
We have to realign our youths and women. We have to give them hope. NEPAD is there to give them hope.
We have to give the kind of education that gives the appropriate skills and competencies to our young people so that they can employ themselves.
Some participants described the initiative as a welcome development.
I believe that when the women are empowered, we in turn would, with our passion, help the younger ones.
The initiative is expected to bring about the growth of cottage industries in Nigeria. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the federal government has started training 52 youths on several tourism empowerment skills in Abuja, organized by the Nigerian Tourism Development Corporation, NTDC. The training aims at reducing unemployment and promoting the country's heritage. Oyinaya Kaluoka reports.
Grace Adekunle for the past 20 years has been into Ashoke, a Yoruba traditional cloth weaving, which has afforded her opportunity to travel around the country and different parts of the world. She is one of the resource persons at the empowerment training.
There's nothing like handwork. If you have your handwork, no matter how the country is, you will get your own.
With 27 females and 25 males, the training, according to beneficiaries, will change their lives.
I've been at home doing nothing, so when I heard of this, I was very, very happy.
I want to learn how to make a saw so that I can be able to use it as my business.
While going around to inspect different sections at the flag off of the pilot scheme, the acting director general NTDC Maria Ray Omo said tourism accounts for 266 million jobs globally, and Nigeria is ready to key into it.
Because the oil is actually dwindling, we need to empower youth. We are just to promote what we have.
The training is also expected to help reduce the country's unemployment rate, which, according to the Bureau of Statistics, has risen to 13.3% in 2016.
This is just to key into the present administration's poverty alleviation program.
You can set up a small business and start earning something. That's the essence of it.
The training is to last for 3 weeks and will be replicated across the Federation. Oyinaya Kalu Oka, NTA News.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, the National Population Commission, and the National Assembly have been urged to adhere to the constitutional provisions that will ensure proper representation of Nigerians through their constituencies. This came from legal and constitutional experts at a roundtable held in Abuja on constituency delimitation. Femi Okewo reports.
Sections 73 and 74 of the 1999 Constitution direct the nation's electoral body to review the division of states into senatorial districts and federal constituencies at intervals not less than 10 years. Delimitation of electoral constituencies makes it logistically easier to conduct elections and allows the country to cater for population growth and geographical dynamics. But experts at a roundtable held in Abuja warned that Nigeria has not been faithful to the intent and cause of delimitation, thereby denying a great number of citizens fair representation in governance.
Now, the result of these discrepancies through a delimitation of constituency review has led to court actions after general elections.
The Constitution says use the latest. But from 2007, all the elections we have had did not comply with this requirement, because in 2006 we had a new census because
organizers say that the recommendations of the roundtable will be passed to the bodies saddled with the constitutional responsibilities as a guide.
The motive is to put this into the public domain. Happily, INEC seem to have taken a hint and they are already setting up committees. But I think it should go beyond just setting up committees.
Once a national census is held, there are quite a number of other events that must precede a general election. Delimitation is just one of them. It will therefore mean that the agenda for Nigeria is quite loaded preceding the 2019 general elections. In Abuja, Femi Okewo, NTA News.
If you're just joining us, this is NTA International News from Nigeria's capital city of Abuja. The news will continue in just a moment after the break. Please stay tuned.
Change is here and it's going to stay. Change begins with you. Oh yeah, make me
International News. Africa as it is.
Thank you for staying there. There is yet growing concerns over drug abuse among youths in the country, especially in some states in the north. Rehabilitation and how to stop the menace is the thrust of discussions at this year's Northern Governors' Wives Forum, held in Abuja. Laurie Balahassan reports.
The theme for the forum is Say No to Drug Abuse. It is part of supporting their spouses, particularly on issues affecting women, children, the girl child, and other negative vices in the society. Wife of Zamfara State Governor and the chairperson of the forum said measures are being put in place to curb the menace by raising awareness and providing testing centers.
People just tend to pretend that this is not a problem. So we felt this is a good opportunity to lend our voices as wives of governors, as leaders in our various states, to come out and fight this, and it's a very good cause.
Some of the governor's wives agree that inadequate educational exposure, peer pressure, and absence of certain family values are factors that drive some people to drugs.
We are ignorant about it, but I'm so happy that this year around we all decided collectively to look into the future of our children.
As mothers, as role models, as leaders in our society, we should lend our strong voice in fighting drug addiction.
This is one thing that we must tackle if we're going to get to the bottom of it, is the regulation, the patent medicine stores. That is where it comes from.
At the end of their deliberations, they resolved to partner organizations that will foster realization of the project at the national and state levels. In Abuja, Laurie Balahassan, NTA News.
Nigeria Christian Pilgrim Commission, NCPC, is set to hold a special prayer for President Muhammadu Buhari, the acting president Yemi Osinbajo, and indeed entire Nigerians on the 5th of March in Jerusalem. Executive Secretary of the Commission, Reverend Tor Uja, said this in Abuja ahead of the Holy Pilgrimage. Timothy Yusuf reports.
Mount Zion in Jerusalem is the venue for the special prayer expected to be attended by top government functionaries, including Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Babachir David Lawal. Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission called on Nigerians to shun sentiment and focus on greater issues of development rather than trivialities.
NCPC has thought it fit to mobilize the church to pray for Mr. President for his quick recovery and return to Nigeria and to work, and to also pray for the acting president, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, so that he will rise to the occasion and handle things while the president is away, and to pray for Nigeria and Nigerians that there will be a quietness and a cooperation that will enable us focus on greater things and not elementary things.
Reverend Tuja enjoined Nigerians to desist from rumor peddling, stressing that people should learn to put their trust in God instead of resorting to their imaginations. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
And from the health sector comes a report that eliminating quacks among medical laboratory scientists for accurate diagnosis of ailments and other critical issues confronting the health sector was the focus of a public health lecture on malaria diagnostic and physiotherapy held in Asaba, Delta State, South Nigeria. Oyinia Joshua Ifeanyi reports.
The national president of the Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists of Nigeria, AMLSN, Alhaji Toyosi Rahim, said the theme of the public lecture series, Malaria Diagnosis, Diagnostics and Phytotherapy, is focused on the burden of the tropical disease of malaria in Nigeria, the challenges of eradicating it, as well as the role of medical laboratory scientists of Nigeria.
The universal health coverage means that health services, including medical laboratory scientists, should be available, it should be accessible, it should be affordable. And as such, prioritizing medical laboratory services is contrary to the principle of universal health coverage.
Professor Louis Egwari of the Department of Microbiology and Biotech, Covenant University, Ota, Ogun State, said the government and citizens have a crucial role to play in sanitizing the environment of malaria-bearing mosquitoes. He proffered other scientific methods of eradicating the Anopheles mosquitoes.
In the current environment, and mosquitoes can no longer breathe, or the rate of breeding is minimized or reduced significantly, then you can begin to talk about control.
Other speakers will emphasize the need for individuals, government, tertiary institutions, and the Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists to synergize in getting rid of malaria in the country. The Medical Laboratory Scientists of Nigeria used the occasion to appeal to government to implement the ruling of National Industrial Courts of Nigeria, NICN, on their working relationship with doctors in respect to the autonomy of their profession. In Asaba,
the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, has commenced 4-day training for states and local government area inspectors towards tackling some of the scheme challenges. The exercise is being attended by participants drawn from the 19 northern states of the country. Olainka Ojo reports.
In recent times, the challenges of rejection of youth corps members, insurgency and kidnapping have become a regular occurrence that the NYSC scheme and its officials have had to grapple with. Hence the need to train inspectors on ways to deal with the situation caused by population explosion. With the team, capacity building for NYSC inspectors in the face of emerging challenges in corps administration, Director General NYSC Brigadier General Suleiman Kazauri says the training is to equip, sharpen and improve participants' performance level, thereby boosting their self-confidence.
Exchange ideas and propose workable solutions that will enhance your effectiveness and productivity. You must try to give full understanding of the policies and operational guidelines of the scheme.
Director, Corps Welfare and Inspection, Bose Okaku, stressed the need for development training to build team spirit, reduce communication gaps and conflict situations.
Develop appropriate skills in identifying, planning, and managing community development projects.
Participants are expected to be evaluated at the end of the exercise. Olainka Ujo, NTA News.
Preparations in top gear to commence activities of the Development Bank on Nigeria, DBN, in the country. Let's join Muplang Dakok for details of this and more on Business News.
Thank you for joining me on Business News. The Federal Ministry of Finance has confirmed the completion of recruitment for executive management team of the Development Bank of Nigeria, DBN, and has formally applied for the issuance of its operational license from the Central Bank of Nigeria. The proposed DBN will kickstart with $1.7 billion provided by the World Bank and other development banks. The Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun, says the bank will provide loans to all sectors of the economy and will not tamper with the Bank of Industry, Bank of Agriculture, or any other development bank. Reports indicate that the distressed Arik airline, recently taken over by the Assets Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON, is owing the International Air Transport Association, IATA, $78 billion. The Nigerian Stock Exchange market depreciated Tuesday after its positive close on Monday. That's it from here. I am Muplang Dakok.
And time now to join Oku Ekbayong for some stories making the rounds around the globe.
The United Nations has warned that large numbers of children are still risking their lives to make the dangerous journey from Libya to Italy. UNICEF says almost 26,000 children, most of them unaccompanied, crossed the Mediterranean last year. And in Burkina Faso, 2 police posts were attacked by jihadists just months after 12 soldiers were killed by militants in a raid near the Mali border. Reports say it was unclear whether there had been any casualties from the latest attack which took place in the country's north. Meanwhile, rescue efforts continue to find a 5-year-old boy trapped for nearly 3 days in a disused mine shaft in the Bucksburg, a small town on the outskirts of the South African city of Johannesburg. The boy reportedly fell into the hole on Saturday. The search operation was called off on Monday night after rescue workers experienced difficulty breathing underground. Outside Africa, Malaysia's prosecutor says the two women implicated in the killing of the estranged brother of North Korea's leader are to be charged with murder on Wednesday. Attorney General Muhammad Apandi Ali said the women from Indonesia and Vietnam will be formally charged and could face death if convicted. Oku Ekpeyong, NTA News.
And now talking sports, the Executive Board of the Nigerian Football Federation endorses NFF President Amaju Pinnick to contest for CAF Executive post as FIFA President, as Gianni Infantino promises Africa more slots ahead of the 2026 World Cup. Details of these and more with Dehinde Sani on Sports Update.
The president of the Nigerian Football Federation, Amaju Pinnick, has been mandated by the board of the federation to vote in the interest of Nigeria as a nation during the CAF presidency election. The Minister of Youth and Sport, Solomon Dalung, stated this after he had an emergency meeting with the board of the federation. Dalung also disclosed that the candidature of the NFF president, Amaju Pinnick, has been endorsed to contest as a CAF executive member.
We must move football forward, and we must do everything in the interest of Nigeria.
Following the 9 victories recorded in the Week 10 of the Nigerian